Hello everybody. It's time to start moving on to the next step and cut out your box. Okay, so you've created your digital model of your automata with all of your follower bushings, your model up on top, your follower rods that are all cut to the appropriate lengths, and also your cams are all in there. They're all constrained. You've got your handle, you've got your axle bushings, all the parts. You now need to actually physically create your box. So we're going to essentially be creating that thing. Okay. Now, to do that, we need to create a drawing of this. Now, I've got this open right now as a reference, but I'm going to close these out simply because I don't need them dragging down my computer. So we're just going to go to New, Drawing, and it's going to pop up with some sheet that's similar to this. Yours might be different according to what defaults popped up on your computer. We're going to go ahead and click File and Save As in order to create our box layout. So we're just going to call this Box Lasercut Layout 1. Save. All right. Pops up with the name right there. Now, this is going to represent the actual piece of wood you load into the laser cutter. So the first thing we need to realize is we don't need a border and we don't need a text box. So we're going to get rid of them. Just right click on them over here in the browser and delete them. Next thing we need to do is we need to make sure the sheet is the right size. So we're going to come up here to Sheet, right click it, and then click Edit Sheet. And we're just going to call this Lasercut. And we have to change the size of the sheet. This is going to be a custom size in inches because the height of our laser cut sheet is 12 inches and the width is 24 because we have a 12-inch by 24-inch print bed. Now we need to make sure that it is in landscape view and none of this other stuff matters. So it should have changed your size and shape of your piece of paper, so to speak. All right, now it's important that you have all of your follower or all of your parts in the right section. So all of your parts are already in your file folder and you know what the names of all of the pieces are that you want to import. So I've got my box back with 3 holes at an offset. I've got my box side or the bottom with 3 holes. I've got a 2-hole top and I've got the end. I'm going to need 2 of those in one of the other parts. So I can close that and I'm just going to click Base. Now, what this interface is, a drawing, is it is trying to display your object. So if I drag my left mouse over, I'm not holding any buttons over. You see how there's this outline, this dotted outline that changes shape according to where it's at? Okay, this is trying to make drawings of it. Okay, if you wanted to make orthographic drawings of an object that you'd modeled in here and dimensioned them in here, this is what interface you would use. We don't need any of that stuff. Okay, the only thing we really need to do is make sure that it is a 1-to-1 ratio. Click OK. Now it pops up with these simple black and white drawings. I'm going to delete these other ones that I don't want simply by left clicking on it, right clicking, and then deleting it. Okay? Or you can just right click it and then hit delete and click OK. Okay, either way, you click the frame and it applies to the whole thing. Now, I need to actually place this in the right spot because all of my parts are going to dump in right here in the center. So I'm going to just click the frame and I'm going to take it right up here and I'm going to give myself a little bit of a margin from the edge of the print screen. See how small that margin is? Okay, I'm not feeling that confident. I want to be a little farther away. Okay, great, beautiful. That one's done. Now we need to place the other ones. Okay, unfortunately, you have to place them one at a time. So Scale is 1:1. Okay. Drag it on up here. And you do this over and over again until all your parts are in the right place. Double click it, click OK. Place. And box end. Okay. Base. Okay, so here are all of my parts in here beautifully on the paper. Obviously, they fit onto my panel of wood that I have to cut them out on. Now we need to change it into a format that will actually be read and interpreted correctly by our laser cutter program. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is first save your stuff. Give it a time to think. Now we're going to come over here to annotate, and we're going to click Edit Layers right there. Give it time. All right, we want all of the visible lines. Those visible lines are what represent our object, and we want our laser to cut it out along those visible lines. So those visible lines, give it time to think, we want to change the color to red, okay? Now, this cannot be just any red. I clicked on Define Custom Colors here to show you that this needs to be the 255 red, 0 green, 0 blue. Any other color is wrong. It will not interpret that as a cut. In fact, our laser cutter will only detect 7 colors. Everything else is just gibberish. Next thing we need to do is we need to make sure our line thickness is the right thickness. It should be 0.001 inches. That's an extremely tiny line. Click Save and Close, and then give it a moment to think, maybe zoom out and zoom in, and it should pop up with everything that you want cut out to be lined in red. Next thing we want to do, I want to put my name on the box, simply because it's mine, I claim it as mine, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Mr. Laser's box. Okay. And it popped up in black. Okay? Now, red is interpreted as cut, black is interpreted as raster. That's something that we want it to do. Okay? So now, with all of this like this, everything we want cut in red, everything that we want rastered in either black or blue, we're going to click Save it one more time. Okay? Now, we are going to go ahead and we are going to go to Print. Now, this is the part where you need to actually be on a different computer. You will need to be on the computer that is actually hooked up to the laser cutter because your computer does not have the interface that's necessary. But at this stage in the game, after you've clicked Save, you're going to close out. You're going to go over to the computer, plug your flash drive in, and then bring up your drawing in the Inventor program that's on there. You should be able to find it pretty easily. Once it's open, you should be able to click File, Print, and it should come up with this VLS 3.50. That's our laser cutter, okay? We want it to be a model that is 1:1 scale, okay? Do not click any of this other stuff. Click OK. And it will magically do nothing but pop up with this thing. Well, what you need to do is you need to show this hidden icon. This is our Universal Laser Systems control panel. When you pop this thing up, it should pop up and populate with your drawing that you want cut out. Now, you will have to change some settings on this. First thing, as you get more used to it, you would use more of these colors. For now, we're just using red for vector mode cutting and black for rastering because, well, they're a good color. What we are going to be doing is we are going to be going into the materials database, and we are selecting the material. It is a natural material, it is wood, it's a medium wood, and it's just going to be a general medium wood. Okay? Now, our vector performance, we want a nice thorough cut. Okay? Also, we need to specify our material's thickness. This is a 5mm thickness material. Click OK. Now, once you've got everything set like that, you should be able to click play and it should print it out. But right now, you see how it says disconnected? That's because I don't have my laser cutter plugged into this computer. It'll have a green light flashing there, and it'll say connected there, and then you'll be able to click play because that'll have green. Okay? And then it will actually cut out your thing. It will actually raster your name onto your panel. Good luck. See me if you have any questions.